Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be bringing you my full makeup collection and storage video of 2019. I am so excited to be finally sharing this with you guys. If you guys have noticed the past few years here on my channel, I have been uploading college makeup collections instead of full at-home makeup collections, and that is because I just wasn't ever 100% happy with my setup at home. Once I switched to an Alex drawer, I wasn't ever 100% satisfied with the way it was organized or how my vanity looked, and I've been dreaming of this new vanity and this new setup for months and months and months, so that's why I wanted to put off doing a full and proper makeup collection until this was done. So if you guys remember, back at the end of May or early June, I uploaded a vanity transformation video where I show you guys the total vanity transformation. So if you guys want to go see that video and check out the pieces that I store my makeup in, how I put it all together, kind of my thought process on organizing it and what goes where, and if you just want to see how my overall vanity dreams came to life, definitely make sure to check out that video in the description box down below. In today's video, I really just want to focus more on the product and what exactly it is that I have in my collection. Of course, I just want to make a few disclaimers before we get started. I know a lot of you guys say I don't have to do this, but I feel like it just kind of comes with the territory of filming these types of videos. So the first disclaimer that I want to make is, of course, I'm not trying to brag in any way, shape, or form. This video is purely for fun and for entertainment, and maybe inspire you guys to organize your makeup or show you my organizing tips and tricks. Definitely not in any way, shape, or form trying to brag about the makeup that I have. With that being said, leading on into disclaimer number 2 is that I know I do have a lot of makeup in my collection. I do own a lot of product, but of course I am a YouTuber. This is my job. I also am a freelance makeup artist on the side, and it's just my hobby. And the product in my collection is what I use to create content for you guys and to do makeup and just to do my job, like I mentioned. And the last and final disclaimer that I want to make before we get started is that this is going to be a lengthy video. If you guys have watched any of my makeup collections the past few years, you guys know that I like to be very in-depth with my videos. I like to talk about the product, kind of give mini reviews here and there along the way. It's definitely not my style to just open the drawer and skim over it. I like to be detailed and I like to be in-depth and give you guys my thoughts, like I said. So this is going to be a long video. I hope you guys enjoy anyway, and I'm just so excited. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started into my makeup collection and storage of 2019. So the first thing that I want to show you guys today is what I have on the top of my makeup table or the top of my vanity. So the first thing here that I want to show you guys to the left is something that I get so many questions about, and it's very popular in a lot of my videos, and that is my palette organizer. This organizer is from the brand By Allegory, and this is where I store my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I have a separate drawer that I'll show you guys later for my other eyeshadow palettes, ones that I don't use as often, but this up here is going to be where I house my favorite palettes. So here's where I have my Anastasia palette. I also have my Profusion Mattes palette up here. I have my Tartelette palettes, the Toasted, the In Bloom, and then I also have ColourPop palette, Sigma, and then a Profusion contour palette back there. I'm not going to be opening up all of my palettes today and showing you guys the inside of them, just because I do have a very detailed eyeshadow palette collection here on my channel. So if you guys want to go see that, I will also have that link down below as well if you guys want to see my full in-depth eyeshadow palette collection. So moving on over, the next thing that I have to show you guys is where I keep my makeup brushes. I love this organizer. This makeup organizer is from the brand Story. This one they sent to me a couple of months ago, and I thought that this would be absolutely perfect for my makeup brushes as well as storing newer makeup products. I love having a section like this on top of my vanity where I could place new makeup products, where I'm able to really see everything instead of putting brand new products right into my drawers, and then I feel like I never get around to using them and actually testing them out properly for you guys. So the newer makeup products that I currently have in here are all palettes. Funny enough, I love palettes. I've been buying a few new ones recently. So the first one that I have here is the ColourPop Honey, and then also I have the Kylie Cosmetics Blue Honey palette, which is actually my first Kylie palette ever, and I have to say, you guys, I am very, very impressed with the Kylie shadows. This is just beautiful, you guys. And then lastly, another new ColourPop palette that I picked up is their Sweet Talk palette. Same thing, just leaving this here while I am still using it and testing it out, and this has been absolutely beautiful and perfect this summer. And then of course the main feature of this organizer are my makeup brushes. These are all the makeup brushes that I own, and I love this organizer for brushes because I love how it's broken up into sections. So the front does does have 2 sections here, but the back part of the organizer has 3 different sections, so I feel like I could really organize my brushes a little bit better and find what I need quicker. So the first section over here on the left that I have are going to be mostly all of my eye brushes, as well as tinier brushes, like this is a little small blending brush, powder sweet brushes. I also have some concealer and highlighting brushes. In the middle compartment here, I have blush and bronzer brushes, contour brushes, anything that I use for those types of products. And then in the last compartment, I have foundation brushes, concealer brushes, as well as powder brushes. So you guys know some of my favorites, the Sigma F80. I love the Morphe Kabuki brush. But if you guys want to see a more in-depth video on what brushes that I have, which ones are my favorites, all the different brands that I have, definitely make sure that you guys go check out my brush collection video, because that is all about brushes and it is very in-depth. Next up on my vanity, I have my mirror. Of course, it is so beautiful. Definitely, I think my favorite part about my vanity. It is just such a beautiful and practical mirror for doing makeup. I think it looks pretty. I love this beautiful dark pewter color. Of course, when you flip it over, it also has the side that it can be magnified, so really great for like tweezing your eyebrows or doing detail work. And then of course it plugs into the wall, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but it does switch on and it has a really nice light to light up the face when I'm doing my makeup. Right here I have a letter holder with my 3 Naked palettes. I've had these Naked palettes on display forever. These are probably the same exact way in my last full makeup collection video, so I have 1, 2, and 3 on display here. These are just really nostalgic makeup pieces for me. I definitely don't use them very often, but looking at them and kind of having them on display just reminds me of where I started with makeup and where I started on YouTube, so I just always love having them out. And this is a letter holder that I got from Staples. This little organizer right here that I have on the corner of my tabletop is from Home Goods or Marshall's, one of those stores, and in here I house my favorite lipsticks, or I would want to say maybe my more pretty lipsticks that look really beautiful on display. So of course the first ones here are my ColourPop Cream Luxe lipsticks that are in this beautiful rose gold packaging. I have my favorite shade, What's Your Sign, right here, my Anastasia matte lipstick, my normal MAC lipsticks in the front, and then I also have my 2 Powder Kiss lipsticks from MAC, which are one of the best and most comfortable matte lipstick formulas that I've tried. Definitely a very unique formula that I love a lot, and I'm looking into getting more colors in these soon. Okay, you guys, so moving on into the first drawer of my Alex drawers and my makeup collection. This is where I house a lot of my eye products. So I have a mix of single shadows, eyebrow products. So the first thing that I have in here are these 2 little Wet n Wild palettes. I have the classic Comfort Zone palette, as well as the Not a Basic Peach. I really like these palettes. If you guys are looking for affordable eyeshadows, these are amazing quality, and they're only $5 each, so these are really great. The next organizer that I have here is holding all of my single shadows. This organizer in particular, and I believe all the other ones in this drawer, are from Story, the brand that I mentioned to you guys earlier. I really like their longer ones for holding single shadows, also like liners and pencil type products. But in this one right here, I have single shadows. As you guys can see, I'm sure I have a ton of ColourPop Super Shock shadows. These are just my favorite for a really easy all over the lid look, or even paired with other matte shadows. I love having an array of shades in here. So I have a lot of pretty neutral ones like this one, which is the shade Tassel. The shade Paisley is also another one of my favorites. Maybe I have to get a little closer so you guys can see. This one is the shade Paisley. I have the beautiful bright red that Kathleen Lights did with them for Christmas, but I also have a couple of really unique ones like this one right here, which is called Moonwalk. This one is like a really cool mix of a green, and then it kind of shifts over to like a orangey yellow shade. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but these are overall just my favorite formula of single shadows. I also have the Milani Bella Eyes gel powder shadows. In this middle container, I keep eyebrow products as well as chubby shadow pencils, like cream eyeshadow pencils. So of course I have my Profusion brow powder, which is my favorite. I also have the e.l.f. brow powder as well as the Anastasia brow powder, which I like the Anastasia one a lot too. It's just a really cute little duo. They have these in a bunch of shades, but I definitely think My favorite one is the Profusion one. I have my Brow Wiz. Wet n Wild, of course, is a really great brow product. I have this in my collection from my full face of Wet n Wild video. That's a really good one. The ColourPop one I like. Another Brow Wiz, a L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer. And then I also have the Trace brow pencil, which I like a lot. I like to rotate between these. I'm sure if you guys watch me, you know the Brow Wiz is my favorite, which I have in 2 shades, chocolate and medium brown, but I just like to have a variety for drugstore videos, dupe videos, and all of that stuff. You guys know how it is if you're a YouTuber. You really can justify holding on to like anything in your makeup collection if you make makeup videos. The last little basket that I have on the side here houses my mascaras, eyeliners, and my eyelash curler. This is the best eyelash curler that I've ever tried. This one is from the brand Tweezerman, and I've had this one for a really long time now, and it is just my absolute favorite eyelash curler. Mascara is one of those things that I never actually had a collection of. I would always keep just one in my collection, but recently I have been trying a few of them. I've been dipping my toes in waterproof mascara, so I have a few different mascaras to share with you guys today in my collection. I have the original Maybelline Total Temptation. This is one of my favorite mascaras, and I also have it in the waterproof version, which is also really amazing. My favorite mascara ever is the Essence Lash Princess, so I also picked that one up in the waterproof, which I haven't gotten a chance to try yet, but let me know if you guys have tried that and how you like it. And the last mascara that I have here is the Essence Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara. And the last thing that I have in here are eyeliners. So I have traditional pencil liners from a bunch of different brands. Pop Beauty, some of my favorite ones right now are these colorful ones from LA Girl. These are their Shockwave Neon eyeliners, and I highly, highly recommend these. Really great, really bright and neon on the waterline, and they last all day long. Sometimes they're even a little hard to wash off, but they stay so great. Ofra, different brands from Ipsy bags I have in here, things like that. And then when it comes to gel liners, I have Sigma, Bang Beauty, which I got in a BoxyCharm, and then 2 cream eyeliners from e.l.f. So when it comes to eye bases, I have my MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I have the Sigma eye base, which is also a really good one. Oh, I have a glitter liner, which should go in there. This one is a really, really great eyeshadow base, which really blew my mind. This is from the brand Luscious Angel Eyes, and this one I got in a BoxyCharm back in last August or last September. This is one of the best eye bases that I've ever tried. I was so shocked with how much I like this. I'm actually going to take this one out and leave it on the top of my vanity just to make sure I use that more often. My favorite little section in this drawer is this little cute cup organizer that I have in here, and in here I have my liquid eyeshadows, liquid glitters, as well as eyebrow gels. So I have some products like my Stila Loose Glitter. The Milk Cream eye pigments are so great. You guys should definitely try these out. I also have the Kylie Liquid Shadow, which this is beautiful. This one is in the shade Roses Are Red from her Valentine's collection. In here, I also like to keep some metallic and glitter liners, and then I have a few eyebrow gels as well, like the Anastasia Profusion, and my favorite is the Milk Makeup Kush brow gel. And then last but not least, if you guys can see just in the back of the drawer, I have some e.l.f. Line and Define eye tapes, backup mascaras, and backup eyeshadow singles, things like that. Moving on down to the second drawer, this is where I keep all of my blushes, bronzers, as well as my highlighters. I would definitely say that this is probably my favorite drawer as far as how it looks, as far as how it's organized. I really love these compact organizers because they never get messy. I'll show you guys. I'll pull one out of the drawer. This is what the compact organizer looks like. I got this from Amazon. They're really great. Like I said, they don't get messy. 3 of them fit nicely side by side in the Alex drawer, and I just love that I could see all of my compacts laid out like this. Being able to see everything I have is important to me because if I don't see it, I probably won't think about it or really be inclined to use it. So I just like to be able to see everything that I have so I could be like, oh, I want to use this one today or this one. I just really like overall how this drawer is organized. I tried to categorize this drawer by like high-end blushes, low-end blushes, like high-end highlighters, just tried to categorize them together like that in some way. So the first things that I have here are high-end blushes. I have a Bare Minerals loose blush. This one is a newish addition to my collection. This is the Juvia's Place Bella blush. I picked this up in the winter or fall when I wanted something just like a little bit more fun and bright. I love wearing this to make my cheeks look really flushed in the winter. winter. These are my high-end bronzers. I have my Anastasia Rosewood bronzer, which is my favorite bronzer ever. And then I have two from Too Faced, the original matte chocolate Soleil, which this one is what that looks like. A little bit more on the cool tone side. I actually have been really enjoying this to contour. And then I also have the chocolate gold Soleil, which is a little bit more of a warm, luminous bronzer. The NYC Sunny bronzer is such a classic. I actually always forget I have this one in my collection. So I'm pretty sure they don't make this anymore, but again, I like to keep this in my collection for like nostalgia reasons, or if I ever do a video on like revisiting old products or something like that. And then I have a Wet n Wild bronzer in the back. The middle row of this drawer is my favorite because this is where I keep all of my high-end highlighters. There's just something about a good high-end highlighter that makes me so happy. So these are all of the ones that I own, and I kind of have them in order of like my favorites in the front and then the ones in the back. I wouldn't say are my least favorite, but I like to keep my favorite ones in the front. So definitely my top three high-end highlighters are Ofra Rodeo Drive, ABH, and Amrezy, which I am so sad that this was limited edition. I definitely think that ABH should bring this back again permanently because I still think a lot of people missed out on this the second time around. Another one that I reach for very often is the Fenty Beauty Killawatt Highlighting Duo in the shade Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. This one is a little bit more on the pinky champagne side, so I definitely love this more in the winter when I don't have as much of a tan. Also, Fenty Beauty just has some of my favorite packaging. This feels so sleek and high-end in the hands. Whenever you guys get a sneak peek in my collection, I always get questions on this little gold teddy bear right here. This was gifted to me by my aunt, and this is a Sephora and Moschino collaboration. I believe holidays 2 years ago now, and this is the Bear highlighter. Inside here, it just comes with two different highlighters, really pretty, but definitely more on the subtle side, more of like an everyday glow from within type of highlighter. I also have the Anastasia Illuminators, which I believe have been discontinued. This one is in the shade So Hollywood. I remember this was one of my first high-end highlighters. I also have two highlighters from Becca, the Prosecco Pop Split, as well as the original Champagne Pop. And then all the way in the back here, I have the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting Duo in the shade number 1. Another YouTube made me buy it product when I was just watching YouTube years and years ago, and I didn't even have my channel. This was very popular. I have some more blushes in the front right here. I have an e.l.f. blush. I do have another high-end blush here, but this is the only place that it fit. This is a mini size of the Tarte blush in the shade Party. They're 12-hour Amazonian clay blushes. If you guys have been watching me, you know that this one is a huge favorite of mine. And then I also have the Wet n Wild blushes, a Flormar Baked blush, and then a beautiful Milani Rose blush in the shade Romantic Rose. I have lots of Wet n Wild in this drawer. These two in the front right here are the baked blushes that they launched in their summer collection last summer, the pink one and the more peachy one. And then I have four of their Mega Glow highlighting powders in the shade Golden Flower Crown and Blossom Glow. And then I also have Precious Petals and Crown of My Canopy. And the last drugstore highlighter that I have right here is really great. I feel like this is an underrated product. Definitely one of those products that I forgot about and I've been pulling out again. And this is the Physicians Formula Shimmer Brick. This is a beautiful formula of highlighter, you guys. I'll give you guys a really quick swatch of some of these shades, but these are just really beautiful, glowy, glow from within yet still strong metallic highlighters. I feel like this is really underrated from the drugstore. And lastly, looking all the way in the back of the drawer, I have a few products that don't fit in these compact organizers. These compact organizers are really nice, but wider products or just thicker products will not fit in the slot. So one of the examples that won't fit is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I recently just picked up a new one of this. I have this in the shade Deep Bronze. I also have a Jeffree Star Cosmetics highlighter. This is when he did the collaboration with Manny MUA in the shade Eclipse. And then I also have the Stila bronzer and two little Trace Steak Starlighters, which are really cute. I love the concept of these. They're like a twist up highlighter in a powder form. So that is everything in my blushes, bronzers, and highlighter drawer. So this next drawer is another one of my favorites in my whole collection. Although it has a lot going on in here, I just really like that I could see everything in this drawer. I really can appreciate that everything is just nice and laid out and that I could see everything that I have in here. So of course you guys can see this one houses my foundations, primers, priming sprays, and setting sprays in the back. I just really love how this drawer looks. It is so pleasing to me when everything is laid out flat. That is just my personal way to store bottles like this or makeup products that are similar to this. In the corner here, this acrylic organizer holds all of my foundations. I have a mix of high-end and drugstore, but mostly drugstore. You guys know how I roll when it comes to foundation. I love, love, love drugstore foundation. So the one I want to start with is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. If you guys watched my recent review, you know that this foundation didn't work out for me, but I'm waiting to gift this to someone, so I'm just keeping this in my collection for now, but this one definitely is a no-go for me. This is the Tarte Found Sealer. This is one that I'm still testing out. I did use it a few times and I do really like this. I don't think the shade is perfect for me. This is Fair Light Sand, so this is a little bit light on me as well as a little bit yellow at the moment, but so far I really like this foundation. I thought it was pretty, so I'm still testing that one out. I have lots of foundations from Maybelline in here. Maybelline is my absolute favorite brand from the drugstore for face products. This is their Dream Satin Liquid. I have this in the shade 20 Classic Ivory. This foundation in particular is infused with serum. It is so beautiful and smoothing on the skin. It has a really great medium coverage to it, so that is a great one. Also from Maybelline, I have the Matte and Poreless in 120 Classic Ivory, and then of course I have my favorite 24-hour Super Stay in 3 different shades. 120 Classic Ivory is going to be the shade that I am right now, kind of like my in-between tan shade. My winter shade is 118 Light Beige, and my summer super tan shade is 130 Buff Beige. The L'Oreal Fresh Wear is another one of my favorites, a really nice, again, hydrating full coverage foundation. I also have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in Soft Beige, the Fenty Beauty Foundation in the shade 190. This is the Trace-Stick Tinted Face Stick. It's pretty much like a tinted moisturizer stick, and I wear this in Paradise Island Beige. And then the Makeup Revolution Foundation Stick, which is so good as well, you guys. If you are really dry and looking for a very, very creamy, hydrating, luminous foundation stick, the Makeup Revolution stick is beautiful. Just to show you guys so you could see the color and the texture of this, I have this one in the shade F6, and I do have a full review and wear test on this one if you guys want to check it out. Here are all the primers that I have in my makeup collection. I have some of my favorites in the front, the first one being the Catrice Poreless Blur Primer. I recently did a whole video on this comparing it to the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer if you guys want to see how these perform side by side, but I have 2 of the Poreless Putty Primers. Smashbox Photo Finish Primer is also a great one, definitely an oldie but a goodie. I'm almost out of that. A really great alternative to the Smashbox is the Master Prime by Maybelline. This is essentially the same thing as the Smashbox. The Glossier Priming Moisturizer is amazing for the cold months when my skin is really dry and wants an extra layer of hydration under my foundation. This is the best. Along with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Primer, this gives a really intense luminous effect to the skin. Almost, it's like a liquid highlighter. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, you could check out my best primers video where I actually demo a lot of these primers and you guys can see me apply them on my skin. These are also primers from e.l.f. I have the mineral infused one and the redness control. I have the Trace-Stick Matte Blur Stick, which is really nice for touch-ups on the center of the face. These keep rolling around everywhere. And the last primer that I have in here, of course, is the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Blur Primer. And lastly, I think my favorite part of this whole drawer is all of my sprays. These are all of my favorites in this basket right here. So I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, MAC Fix Plus, the original, as well as the limited edition Cherry Blossom, which is really nice. I have a mini Fix Plus for travel, and then also a really great spray from the drugstore. Both of these are very similar to Fix Plus, and these are the Catrice Prime and Fine sprays. I have both the original one as well as the Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I would say that they both act like Fix Plus to the point where they refresh the skin and give you just a fresh, less powdery look, but the illuminating one gives you even more of a glow. If you guys can see, it has some glowy particles swirling around in there. And then as far as an actual setting spray goes, I would classify these more as priming and refreshing sprays. As far as a setting spray goes, this one right here is my favorite. This is the Too Faced Hangover RX 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. This is my favorite setting spray because It is silicone free, alcohol free, and oil free. Just a little bit more of a gentle setting spray. I do have All Nighter in the back right here, but this does have alcohol in it, so I don't tend to use this one often. So that is everything in this drawer: foundation, concealer, and spray. One of my favorite drawers, like I said, aesthetically, also very user friendly for me, and definitely just overall one of my favorites to look at. Moving on down to the second to last Alex drawer, I have blush, bronzer, and highlight palettes, little palettes, as well as cream versions of those products in the front right here. When I was reorganizing my makeup collection and setting up my new vanity, this drawer was so important for me to have because I used to have everything in, you guys can't see it right here, this drawer where I have the compacts. I had all of those compacts and most of this stuff in that drawer, and the drawer was just way overcrowded. I felt like very overwhelmed. A lot of my cream products did get neglected because they were in the back of that drawer. So I'm so happy to be able to have a drawer just for these products now, like I said, so I can appreciate everything that I have so much more. Starting off with the palettes on the side, I have my glow palettes here. So all of my highlighting palettes. The first one that I have on the side right here is the Nicole Guerrero and Anastasia highlighting palette. Another limited edition product that was beautiful, but I have to say, I don't get a lot of use out of this, like not as much as I thought I would. As beautiful as these highlighters are, I do feel like they are a little bit chunky and glittery on the face, and they do benefit from having some sort of base underneath. I have two of these standard glow kits from ABH. I have the Sunkissed glow kit and the That glow kit, which is my favorite. I use this a ton still to this day. I don't know if this is still available, but I think it is. This is really pretty. It has a lot of beautiful, like perfect in between champagne type highlighters, super up my alley. That is definitely my favorite glow kit. And then lastly, for bigger highlighting palettes, I have the Profusion Blush and Glow 1. This is a really beautiful palette. This is only $5 and you get a really great formula of shimmery blushes as well as the 3 shades of highlighter in here. I really like this palette a lot. I have the Benefit Blush Bar, which is a really gorgeous palette. I'm sure you guys have seen this one too. Benefit comes out with these different blush palettes every year. I also have a Profusion Blush palette, and then the 3 other contour palettes that I have: the Kat Von D Shade and Light, Anastasia contour palette, which is such a classic and still my favorite contour palette to this day, and then of course also the Tarte Tarteist palette, which is also a good one, also discontinued, which I'm so sad about. Another one of my favorites there. This organizer in the back here houses all of my smaller bronzer palettes, blush palettes, things like that. So the first things that I have in here are the Wet n Wild contouring duos. These are incredible. Such amazing formula, and they are only $4 or $5 each. I have a limited edition MAC compact. I know a lot of people really wanted this one because it has the beautiful Whisper of Guilt highlighter in there, which is gorgeous. Behind that, I have a few e.l.f. palettes, which are really great, again, for the price. They're $6 each, and you get 4 powders in each of them. So just to show you guys an example of the blush palette. I also have the famous Sleek Makeup highlighting palette. I know this was super popular on YouTube back in the day. It's just the original one, the Solstice highlighting palette, I believe this is called. And then I have a Maybelline contour blush and highlighter palette in the back. This last organizer in here holds all of my cream products. So I have a bunch of my ColourPop Super Shock cheeks. I figure that these would definitely be more categorized as a cream product, but I have a bunch of different shades in this. A lot of them I have also hit pan on, like this one. These are just really great. I have this super cute Galactic cream highlighter that I got in a boxy charm. I will open this up for you guys because this is actually really pretty. This is their cream skin glow in the shade Moonlight. This is what that looks like. Other brands I have in here: Nude Sticks, Wet n Wild, and then I have a ton of the Trace sticks. If you guys do notice that I have a lot of Trace in my collection, I did intern for them last year and they did let me try out a lot of the products. So I have their blush sticks, their highlighter sticks are amazing. As you guys can see, everything is magnetized, so they do stick to each other, but the highlighter stick is one of my absolute favorite highlighters, and I just really love their cream products when I want more of like a no makeup, quick makeup look. And in the last drawer of my first set of Alex drawers here, I have the rest of my eyeshadow palettes. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to be going through all of these because I do have a very in-depth eyeshadow palette collection video up on my channel that should show most of these palettes. But just to kind of give you guys a brief overview of what I have in here, I have Profusion Fusion. This is a really pretty, the Urban Decay Heavy Metals, the Tardis Pro, which if you guys want to see a tutorial with this, I just recently filmed a throwback tutorial with that on my channel. Some old throwback Too Faced. Do you guys remember this palette? Smaller Morphe palettes. This one's actually really pretty. You guys know I don't use Morphe often, but this one is gorgeous. This is the 15N Nightmaster palette. I really like the color combo in here. And then I have a bunch of palettes like from BoxyCharm. I have some from Hush, like Bad Habit and Face Candy, which I don't even think that Hush is even a thing anymore. I'm pretty sure they like shut down or closed shop. Just to give you guys an example, I have like some smaller palettes from them, and then of course their dupe palettes, like their Retro Love palette is supposed to be a dupe for the Subculture palette, and then their other bigger palettes like these ones here that I have, the Aphrodite and Athena palettes, are supposed to be dupes for the Huda Beauty palettes. Now this little section of eyeshadow palettes here is where it gets a little nostalgic for me. So I have my original Lorac Pro palette as well as the Lorac Pro 2. I remember when these came out like it was yesterday, you guys. These were just so popular and hyped up here on YouTube. I have my 3 chocolate bar type palettes from Too Faced. I have the Sweet Peach palette, the Chocolate Bonbons palette, and then the original chocolate bar. And then the last one here is the Naked Smoky palette. This is the 4th and final Naked palette that I have. After I got this one, I stopped collecting the Naked palettes just because I realized that they weren't my favorite formula. But I have to say, out of the 4 Naked palettes that I own, this one is definitely my favorite. I use this one to get ready for my senior prom. Okay, so in the second set of Alex drawers, I have more makeup. Not all of the drawers are filled with makeup, just the top 2 drawers, and then we have skincare and some miscellaneous stuff. So this first drawer up here is going to be concealers, powders, and sponges. Concealer is another one of my obsessions, I guess you could say, when it comes to my makeup collection. I have them organized in another story container. Hopefully you guys can see, kind of like half drugstore and then half high-end in here. So starting off on the drugstore side of concealer, I have a really nice variety of like indie brands, also brands that you can access easily at the drugstore. So I have the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I wear this in the shade Natural. Another really great one is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. This gives amazing coverage. I also have some Maybelline. I have the Maybelline Age Rewind, the Maybelline Master Conceal, which is a dupe for the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, and then also the Maybelline Super Stay Better Skin is another one from Maybelline that I have in here. I have the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer as well as the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and I think that's the last for drugstore. Oh, I also have the NYX Wonder Stick, which is more of like a contour and highlighting stick, which I should probably move in my cream bronzer drawer, but I think it's fine there. The ColourPop concealers are so great. They're so full coverage, so creamy. They give a beautiful natural finish under the eye. This is the shade Fair 08. I use this to do some highlighting as well as carve out cut creases, use it as an eye base. I also have Light 16, which is a really nice shade for me, and Light 18 for when I'm a little bit more tan. Light 18 kind of just matches my skin tone, and Light 16 is a little bit more highlighting, good for the winter as well. The Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer is definitely my favorite as well as my most used concealer. You guys know I really do like the Tarte Shape Tape as well, but the Tarte Shape Tape is going to be a little bit more on the dry side compared to the Too Faced one, but those are both really great. The Fenty Beauty Concealer is a great one. I have mine in the shade 185. The Fenty Beauty Match Stick I have in the shade Ivory. I kind of like to use this one on acne as well. I feel like the formula just sticks really nicely to help cover up acne. So those are all the concealers I have. If you guys have any questions on like shades of them or whatever, if I didn't mention them, definitely let me know because I will be more than happy to answer it for you guys. So just running through the powders really quickly, I have my favorite in the front. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. Such an amazing powder, you guys. It is under $5 in most places, and I reach for this more than my other high-end powders like my Laura Mercier. Laura Mercier is a really great powder, and I always like to have this one in my collection, but honestly, I don't think it's a necessity because the Maybelline one is so good. This one in the middle I haven't tried yet. This is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Powder Foundation. I haven't used this. I've never actually used a loose powder foundation, so I'm really interested to see how that one works out for me. And then lastly, for high-end powder, I have the Fenty Beauty Invisimatte Blotting Powder here, which is an essential for me. I usually keep this one in my purse. These are my lower end and drugstore pressed powder. So I have the ColourPop No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder, which has quickly become one of my favorite pressed powders. This powder is really, really beautiful for touch-ups, setting the concealer on the lid and things like that. I also have the Catrice Prime and Fine Mattifying Powder and then the Superstay Powder Foundation. I have a spare L'Oreal sponge in here, as well as a few sponges that I'm currently using in the back. My current favorite is the e.l.f. Total Face Sponge. I have a L'Oreal one that I'm currently using, the Forever 21 sponge, which is surprisingly really good. I really love the shape on this sponge. And then I also have the L'Oreal Contour Sponge, which I use when I do some cream contouring. Another one of my absolute favorite drawers in my whole collection is my lip products. I love the colors in here. I hope that you guys can see everything okay, but I'm gonna try to take the organizers out so I could pull you guys in a little bit closer. But this is my full lip drawer. I have every single one of my lip products in this drawer, and there's even room for more, which makes me very, very happy because I know I will continue to get new lipsticks. So this organizer that I have in the front here houses all of my lip glosses. I have been very into gloss lately, and I have a decent amount of them. So of course I have two Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs, Fenty Glow as well as Fussy. If I had to pick between the two of these, I actually think I would pick Fussy. I just like how it looks on my lips better. Underneath the Fenty glosses, I have a nice variety of NYX butter glosses, the Intense Butter glosses. These are an amazing gloss from the drugstore. Also under $5, really great. The traditional butter glosses don't last as long on the lips and aren't as pigmented as the Intense glosses. So if you guys can get the Intense glosses, I recommend those more. A mini Smashbox gloss that I got in a Christmas set. I just keep this for the glitter. It's like my only glittery gloss. I know I also have a Wet n Wild gloss, their High Shine lipstick, but I actually have that in my purse right now because it's just been my go-to. This is the Essence lip gloss that I made at BeautyCon. The Maybelline Vivid Hot Lip Blackers are really great, super creamy and pigmented, and last a really long time on the lips. Wet n Wild Featherless is a gloss that I raved about all last summer. I'm so sad that this is discontinued because this is one of the best lip glosses that I've tried. I really hope that Wet n Wild brings these back, as well as this color. Again, this is in the shade Featherless because this was just one of the best lip glosses I've ever tried. This lipstick organizer holds 24 lipsticks, and I got this from Amazon. This is really, really nice quality. I'll pick it up so you guys can see. I was really pleasantly surprised when I received this. It was a really decent price. I believe this is by the brand By Allegory as well. They have really nice, sturdy organizers. So in here, I just have an array of different lipsticks, more MAC lipstick, Chanel. This is the Bite Beauty lipstick that I created in their lab in Soho. That was so fun. L'Oreal lipsticks are another great formula. I have some different shades like JLo's Nude, Blake Lively's Red, and a couple of ones that were gifted to me by Influencer from their matte line. These are really nice as well. The middle and back containers here have my liquid lipsticks in them. So for nudes, I have Anastasia, of course, Smashbox, Kylie, the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink is really great. But I think my overall favorite lipstick formula, as high-end and as expensive as it is, it kind of pains me to say this, is the Giorgio Armani liquid lipstick formula. This was sent to me by Influencer. I have mine in the shade 500. These Lip Maestro liquid lipsticks are the best liquid lipstick formula that I have tried. They are so comfortable on the lip. They last so long. Underneath some of these, of course, I have ColourPop, Morphe, Profusion, and the NYX Liquid Suede, which are really nice as well. And then these are more of my miscellaneous colored liquid lipsticks. Lots of ColourPop, Anastasia, Ofra, NYX, and then Grande Lips. This one's really good. I got this in a BoxyCharm. That's a really beautiful red. Here's my basket of lip liners. I know it's a lot of lip liners. This is something that I've really been into lately. I have been loving trying different ones out. So I just have a bunch of different brands in here. Lots of affordable ones. I have L'Oreal, LA Girl, Profusion, Wet n Wild, NYX, more L'Oreal. I also have another LA Girl. See, I just have so many different lip liners. MAC in here, Essence. I have a bunch of these Trace Steak Chubby Lip Crayons. Smashbox. This Laura Mercier one is really great. This is like a really pretty Again, just like a thick matte lip crayon in the shade Fierce. I know, it's a lot of lip liner, you guys. A lot of them are very similar nude shades, but like I said, lip liner has just been something I've kind of been experimenting with and playing around with lately, so I've been trying a lot of different ones. So that is everything in the lip drawer, and this is actually the last makeup drawer I have to show you guys. So I decided to skip over the last few drawers in my Alex drawer just to save time on this video, and they're not necessarily makeup products, but this drawer houses my skincare products. And if you guys want to see a full skincare collection, you could click the card right here. I have a whole video dedicated to my skincare collection already. And then the second to last drawer holds my makeup artist supplies and what I have in my kit. So if you guys want to see a more dedicated video to this, kind of like how I filled my makeup artist kit on a budget, definitely let me know. And that is something I could do for you guys, but that is what is in the drawers that I skipped over. All right, you guys, so that is going to complete my full makeup collection and storage video. I know this was a really long video, so thank you guys so much if you stuck around and watched the whole thing. But that is everything. That is my full makeup collection and storage of 2019. I don't think this video needs a really long outro, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you leave. I would love to have you guys here as part of my little YouTube fam. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you don't want to miss out on my 10K giveaway. That will be coming very soon when I hit 10,000 subscribers. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, click that notification bell down below and you'll get notified every single time that I upload a new video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!